Hey, what's up? Zach here, and today I've got my favorite basketball shoes for every foot type, game style, and injury or ailment you might be bringing to the basketball court. And heads up, if you want a side-by-side chart of every shoe I've reviewed this year in one document that gets updated at least bi-weekly, breaking down all the stats like heel height, heel to toe drop, weights, midsole construction, durability, jump height scores, and everything else you see in my videos, I do have that as a digital download in the description. It's a great tool if you want to compare shoes side by side, and it's what I personally use when making all of these videos. It's also a great companion to this particular video, so that's down below. All right, so let's get started with number one, foot type. And to me, this is the most important aspect to look at because if you're a narrow, medium, or wide width foot, you're going to be looking at vastly different shoes. Now, if you're a wide width player, you have a few options. You can just go with a shoe that comes in a wide version, like really anything in the New Balance basketball line, whether it be the Kawhi line or the two-way line. And there are shoes that just come wide out of the box, like the Adidas Trae Young 1, Jordan Zoom Separate EP, or even something like the Harden Volume 6. Conversely, on the opposite side, if you run narrow, you don't want to be flopping around in a shoe that's too wide and can lead to sloppy footwork or even a midfoot sprain. Something like the Jordan 36, the Nike Kyrie 8, or even the Curry Flow 9 would be a good option. And if you're just a true or medium width foot, you're going to want a shoe that runs more true to size, more medium, something like the Puma MB1, the Under Armour Flow Future X, or even the Curry Flow 9 after a bit of a break-in period. And like I say a lot, your arch height isn't the biggest factor when choosing shoes because you can correct for that with orthotics. But if you are a high arch player, you don't want something that's going to bottom out in the forefoot or have too much instability. So for that, I like shoes like the Puma MB1, the Harden Volume 6, or even the Nike PG6. And if you are a flatter foot, you do want something with a little more bulk under the arch, a little bit of a stiffer shank. Something like the Nike GT Jump, the Jordan 36, the KD 14, or the Anta KT7. And yes, a lot of the shoes that are good for higher arched feet are also good for flatter ones. It really all depends on the features you need in a shoe, and in a lot of cases in today's basketball shoes, they do have aspects of both. Okay, number two, game style. The type of game you play can make a huge impact on shoe choice. Say you're a larger center, power forward, or just playing the paint a lot, need a lot of stability and lockdown, maybe just need a little bit of height over an opponent. You're going to want to go with something like the Nike LeBron 19 or even the Nike LeBron 19 Low, or even something like the Dame 8 or GT Jump. Whereas if you're a shooting guard or a perimeter player, or just want a shoe you can use to beat an opponent or several with footwork really on the ground, you need something with more shifty and nimble footwork like the Nike PG6, Anta KT7, or the Curry Flow 9. And if you're someone that needs more vertical assistance, or just want more height, you're going to want something more with a springboard effect, something like the Jordan 36, Nike PG6, or even something like the Curry Flow 9. And if you want more balance and feel, you're going to want to go with a shoe with a broader midfoot, something like the Adidas Trae Young 1, the Nike Kyrie Infinity, especially the EP version, or something even like the New Balance Kawhi or two-way. Now, if you're a player trying to impress a coach during speed drills, I'd go with a faster, more aerodynamic shoe, something like the Anta KT7, Curry Flow 9, or even Jordan Zoom Separate. Now, what if you're someone who plays exclusively on outdoor hard courts like asphalt or concrete? You're going to want something with a harder rubber compound, something like really anything in the Nike EP or kind of XDR rubber family, the Adidas Harden Volume 6, or even the Trae Young 1, or even a tennis shoe model like the Nike GP Turbo. And if you're mostly a hardwood player, you're going to want to go with something with more of a suction cupping broad tread pattern, something like the Nike PG6, the Puma MB1, or as long as the court's not dusty, the Curry Flow 9. And if you play on multiple surfaces, a tweener pair is going to be best, something not too hard a rubber, not too soft of a compound, something like, once again, the Nike PG6, or even something like the Adidas Next Level Future Natural, or Jordan Zoom Separate. And if you like playing in more durable tennis shoes or just like the way they grip better on outdoor courts, my favorite for that is the Nike GP Turbo, Yonex Eclipsian 3, and Diadora Blue Shield Torneo. All right, number three, injuries, body type, and chronic conditions. If you're someone with heel pain such as Achilles tendinitis, plantar fasciitis, or bursitis, you're going to want to go with a shoe with a pretty supportive heel counter and shank, plus a pretty decent midsole stack, something like the Nike KD 14, Adidas Harden Volume 6, or Anta KT7. If you're a chronic ankle sprainer, you're going to want to go with something with great lateral stability, like pretty much anything in the Adidas line, including the laceless models, Puma MB1, or KD 14. And on the other side of the foot, if you need a shoe for more painful overpronation or tendinitis, you're You're going to want to go with a shoe with a little bit more beef under the arch, a little more supportive shank under the inside or medial side of the shoe. Something like the Nike GT Jump, the Anta KT7, or Jordan 36. Now, if you have pain in the ball of your foot from a painful metatarsal, neuroma, previous stress fracture, bursitis, number one, you're going to want a shoe with a little bit of a wider forefoot and something with a decent stack of foam in the forefoot or air in the forefoot, to make the Puma MB1, the Nike GT Jump, Cut or Run, or Harden Volume 6 with that full-length boost. And if you're one of the unlucky hoopers out there that suffer from shin splints, my favorites for this are the same for Overpronation, just something with more medial stability and motion control. And anyone who needs to accommodate a bunion, tailor's bunion, or hammer toe, really anything in the wide width category is a good choice for those particular issues. Now, what if you suffer from knee, hip, back, or neck pain? Now, these are all very different conditions and have very different treatments, but in terms of shoes, they all have one thing in common, and that's the need for shock absorption. So my favorites for this are the ones with big midsole stacks, or really anything with boost. And you also have to think about player weight. If you're on the lighter end of the spectrum, you don't want to be lugging around the LeBron 19, and conversely, if you're a huge center, you need something with more heft to control your foot, or you'll bust out of something minimal in the uppers like the Puma Fusion Nitro. And if you're wearing braces or bulky orthotics, you're going to want something with either a higher heel counter or just a much more supportive and locked-in ankle collar like here in the Harden Volume 6. And if you're somebody with a very narrow heel or ankle, you're going to want to get a shoe with number one, 3 eyelets in the ankle, or number 2, just 2 really high eyelets back here. That way you can make a runner's knot to really cinch that heel in and prevent any side-to-side motion or your heel coming up out of the shoe. And so if you're looking for a specific shoe that fits your unique needs, just look in each category that pertains to you, and whichever shoe shows up in most or all would be my favorite shoe for that particular profile. But the most important factor in all of this is finding a shoe that fits your particular size and shape foot. So if you want to see how to find the best shoe for your particular size and shape, make sure you check out this video up here and subscribe down below. Respect rubber and foam. I'll see you in the next video.